I am super excited to introduce our next guest to Off Court. He has been coached by and worked alongside the legendary Harry Hopman. He has helped numerous Grand Slam and international champions like John McEnroe, Vitus Gerulaitus. He's still competing to this day, and he's won just about every ITF seniors tournament known to mankind. He is a living legend. He has coached Donald Trump, and he is the total definition of passion. It is my pleasure to welcome Harold Mollin to Off Court.
Thank you for having me, Jason. Thank you.
Harold, I want to dive straight in, man. I think, the whole world is asking the same question right now. If they're watching this video, what's the scoop on Donald Trump? How did that happen? Tell us about it.
It is a convoluted story, but first of all, let me get this straight. Donald's level of play is at best a bad club player, okay? No matter what he says, on an NTRP rating, maybe a 2.5, just to give you a little idea of how he plays. The way that I got to really know him pretty well was that a friend of mine was a member of Mar-a-Lago, which I ended up being a member, but only because I was also a member of Queen's Club. I had an office in London before. And by going to Mar-a-Lago a few times, we came up with a concept of having an international tennis tournament of players from Mar-a-Lago against the Queen's Club. So I got like 8, 9 guys from Queen's Club to fly over and to play Mar-a-Lago. This is when Mar-a-Lago was in its 3rd or 4th year. To make a long story short, it was like 4-all in matches. And I had the deciding match against a guy named Harry Leeds. And Harry, played Wimbledon. He played number 1 for Yale, and he was like 10 years younger than me. And everyone was sure that I was going to lose this match. I ended up winning this match. Donald became my closest friend in 2 seconds and couldn't believe that his club lost to Queens with me giving away all these years. And from that point, he used to fly me down from New York to Palm Beach. And then he asked me if I wanted to be a member, and then I joined the club. And so I spent a lot of time with him. But unfortunately, with that time as a member, I had to play doubles with him. And, you learn that his ability to call balls, let's just say, was inversely proportional to his wealth, okay? And, anybody, and I'm sure, Jason, you've had this experience, they see it the way they like to see it. And if you play with him and you're playing against good players, you're embarrassed for his calls, but you can't argue with them. But that's how the whole thing happened. And I was there for a few years. It was always interesting, but he is what he is. The same now as he was then.
I think it's fascinating. To a lot of people out there who obviously see him on the TV every day. But, coaching, charismatic characters is nothing new to you. You back in the day, you helped guys like Vitus Gerulaitus, Johnny Mac.
Well, Vitus and I have had a long history. I mean, when he was 15, he came to Port Washington Tennis Academy, which was a hotbed of tennis then. This is in the 70s, and really late 60s, 70s. And he was 15 when I met him. I'm 3 years older, so I was 18. And we ended up playing almost every day at 5. I used to pick him up in Howard Beach, and then take him to either Port Washington Tennis Academy or other places to practice. And in fact, Vitus and he won with me his first men's prize money tournament in doubles. He was 15, I was 18. We played against a Cuban Davis Cup player and the number 1 35s in the US. And honestly, I wasn't that good then. And these two guys could play. And Vitus at 15 was the best player on the court. And that, that shows you the talent that he had. He was a great guy. And it's a shame that he unfortunately died of carbon monoxide poisoning at a mutual friend's house. But a very, very talented player. And in fact, from him, I mean, we would go cross courts, we wouldn't even talk to each other for the first hour. We do 15 minutes of cross courts on the forehand, backhand, and then down the lines. That would be 1 hour, and then we'd have lunch, breakfast, and start to talk.